30,000 on a beat.
Guys, welcome back to Nature Sports Center, and what a weekend it was. We had the Jake Paul fight against Nate Diaz.
Favor of the winner, the problem child, Jake Paul.
Went exactly as I thought it was gonna go. You know, my heart was telling me Nate, but my head was telling me Jake. And you know, it's exactly what I thought, honestly. I didn't see Jake knocking him down, but he caught him with a nice hook, touched the top of his head, or like kind of his temple, knocked him down. But yeah, I think Nate only got one round out of that. And honestly, I did see Jake dominating. You know, I did want Nate to go out there and win, but unfortunately, he just doesn't have the boxing skill or the experience to beat Jake. And I know Jake hasn't been doing this for long, but as we know, he has some of the best coaches in the world. He takes it very serious and he works very hard. And yeah, it was a 5th round KO and it was a unanimous decision by Jake Paul. And that pretty much wraps up the boxing. What's next for Jake Paul? We don't know. We've heard him talking about getting into an MMA match with Nate Diaz. Honestly, I see Nate Diaz winning that pretty easily. Probably just take it to ground and wrap him up in jiu-jitsu. Or even Jake going back and fighting Tommy Fury. Now, even the Tommy Fury fight, I think it'll be a very hard fight for Jake again. Like, Tommy is a big dude. He's actually a boxer. And yeah, even though he's not one of the best boxers out there, he has a brother who's one of the, if probably the best boxer best heavyweight boxer out there, if not the best heavyweight boxer ever, in my opinion. So I do believe that Tommy has the right people around him to go get the W again from Jake. However, I do want to see that fight again. Let's see if Jake has improved enough to go and redeem himself and get revenge from Tommy Fury. And next we have Arsenal. We won the Community Shield. No biggie. I know it's only the Community Shield, but it's still a great start to the season. It was a pretty balanced game, pretty even game. Similar amount of chances. I think they had just a little bit more possession than us. I think we played okay. We were down the first goal by Cole Palmer. What a finish by him, the youngster from Manchester City. And then Trossard saves the day. Comes on from the bench, and I know it was a big deflection, but still, even to get himself in that position, take a strike and get that deflection last minute to get us through to penalties. And then in penalties, we literally done our thing in penalties. You get what I'm saying? We come out there, we scored every single penalty. Not to mention that Fabio Vieira's penalty, in my opinion, is one of the best penalties I've ever seen. Straight in the top corner. Like the commentator said, even if you put 2 goalkeepers in that goal, they still would not have saved it. So, yeah, that pretty much wraps up the game on the weekend. And it's, like I said, it's a great start for the season. Hopefully we can take that win on to the Premiership. Next up in the Premiership, we've got Nottingham Forest at home. We have Palace away, Crystal Palace away, Fulham at home, Man United at home, and Everton away. Now, those 5 fixtures, I can see us winning every single one of those, being Man United being the hardest one, even though it's at home. And yeah, I think that's a good fixture list for us to start off with a strong start. And hopefully this year we can actually go get that Premiership title. And, you know, we're back in the Champions League, so I'd love to see us flourish in that competition as well.
After 5 rounds, we go to the judges' scorecards for a decision. All 3 judges score this contest 50-45 for the winner by unanimous decision, Corey Sandhagen.
And lastly, I'm going to mention the UFC. Now, the UFC, the card this weekend with the UFC, you know, it was good watching it, but the the main fight was such an anticlimax. Probably one of the worst main events I've ever seen. You know, I've seen some bad main events in my life. Like, I was there when Adesanya fought Romero live, and that was a bad fight. And, you know, we've seen other fights since that have been pretty bad as well. But the Sanhagen v Rob Font fight was definitely one to put up there with one of the most boring MMA fights ever, especially as a main event. So, yeah, the Diego Lopez fight was great. He got the first round armbar. That was great. Dustin Jacoby beat Kennedy Nzechukwu. Is that how you say his surname? I think, I don't have it written here, so I think whatever his name is, Kennedy. So yeah, Dustin Jacoby got that. I think it was a first round TKO against Kennedy, and both of them are beasts, so that was great on his behalf. And Tatiana Suarez, what a guillotine in the second round against Jessica Andrade. So yeah, they were all great fights. Apart from the main fight, which was the anticlimax with Corey Sanhagen. And with Corey Sanhagen, does he deserve the next title fight? Even though that was such a boring fight, I'm just going to have to say, yeah, he probably is the next one up. I think the winner out of Sterling and O'Malley will probably go on to fight Corey Sanhagen. Unless Henry Cejudo somehow fights Merab and maybe O'Malley wins it and Merab and Henry Cejudo get a fight against Sugar O'Malley. But if Sterling keeps that title, then I don't see no one but Corey Sanhagen getting the next shot. Now, that is to wrap up the weekend sports. Guys, I'll catch you next week. I'm probably going to try and be here on Friday. We'll speak about the sports on Friday, and then we'll wrap it up here on Monday. Guys, have a great week. Keep crushing it. Take care. Bye-bye.